everyone, I don't know why I felt like sitting down on the floor for filming this video, but I just want to show you a few of the things that I bought yesterday. I went to the art store. I tried to stay focused and buy kind of what I needed, and I did get what I need, so I'll show you that. But I also got a few more things, because who can go to the art store and just, you know, buy what they need. So I'll start with the surfaces. This is, again, this canvas that is mounted on a wooden frame, and this is how the big brother is looking right now. And so I have an idea for these. As you can see, this one is smaller. I have an idea, and I'll tell you all about it later. But yeah, these are quite pricey, these things, but they do have a nice look to them, in my opinion. Yeah, so I wanted to get another one, and I resisted getting more than just the one, so that I can focus on that one, and then when I'm done with that, I will buy another one, probably bigger than the one that I already made. Because, as I said, I have an idea for that. And then I bought this, this is also wood. This is 30 by 30. And last time I went to the art store, I got this one. And it's the same size. I decided to kind of stick with this size because I enjoyed working on this. But this one, I think it was a bit cheaper. And this one is already prepped with gesso, I want to say. Yeah, so this one is prepped with gesso. I wasn't sure if I wanted the wooden effect. That's why I bought this one, and this one was not. I mean, now it's painted, but it wasn't primed with gesso. It was just basically like this, and I didn't. That didn't really work for me. So gesso it is, and I think it was a little bit cheaper. I think probably because that one is like their home brand, and the other one is some other brand. And then, super boring, but they had this at a good price. It's 3 canvases in one pack, and they are 50 by 50 centimeters, which is, I think, like 20 inches, maybe a little bit more than 20 inches. But yeah, I almost got another big one, like the one I'm working on, which I really enjoyed that size. I'm working on an 80 by 80 centimeter canvas with like a thick edge, like a gallery wrapped one. Really enjoyable, but I thought, first of all, I was a bit cheap. I am cheap when it comes to like spending money on large canvases. I'm going to have to get over that, but it feels like kind of a leap of faith for me to buy these in the hopes that someone will buy them eventually and I can kind of earn that money back. So it's a little bit of a struggle for me, but yeah, with these 50 on 50, I thought I can play around and maybe just kind of develop more the style or the kind of paintings that I want to make. I'm super happy with how my large canvas is going, and yeah, that's definitely the direction that I want to go to, but I felt more comfortable just buying these 3 canvases. Also, because I don't have a ton of space, I figured slightly smaller canvases would be easier to move around or paint on 2 at the same time, and so I decided to go with that. When I'm done with those 3, I will go and buy more, and maybe also go a little bit bigger with the size. So that's kind of the boring stuff. And something else that is kind of boring, but also not that boring. I have been definitely in need of white ink. What I've been using till now was white paint when I didn't have another option. And before that, I had some Liquitex ink that I used up. And then I found this in my stash. This is Speed Dry Magic Color. And yeah, so I have a little bit of it. It's not incredibly opaque, and I really wanted something that was opaque so that I would have the option to either use it you know, as opaque as possible, or control that opacity and water it down a bit. And Schminke is always reliable. And so this is a white acrylic ink. It's called Total Cover, and I trust them. I mean, obviously we'll see and I'll let you know, but I decided to try this. This is the 250 ml bottle. These are made for airbrushing, and I wish I don't need something that is so fine that it could go in an airbrush, but they don't really have another option except their student grade inks. And I don't know, maybe I should try the white they didn't have in the shop and see. But this is pricey stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully a little bit goes a long way. And yeah, so I definitely needed white. And then the other thing I really needed was an ink of ultramarine. I'll do the swatching at the end so you can actually see the colors. Because I think that's always helpful. Sorry about the rustling. I have here my little swatching situation. So I really needed an ultramarine blue ink. I have a bunch of blues, but none of them is the right blue, which for me these days is ultramarine. And so I wanted to get the Schminke one, but the Amsterdam was a cheaper option. It is transparent, which is what I wanted. Classic ultramarine, PB29. It's always the pigment for ultramarine. And yeah, I tried it yesterday. It's really nice. So basically the price was the reason to take it. And also because I know these are very transparent and lovely. I had not a bad experience, but I tried to buy this one. This is like acrylic ink studio, so more of like student grade. And this is ultramarine. This is cheaper than this one, I think. You definitely get more, I want to say. This one is 60 mils. This one doesn't look like 60. 30, yeah, so half. So for sure this one is cheaper. But it's opaque. It's marked as half transparent, and that might be true, but it's not as transparent as I want it to be. So I can't really use this one in a certain way that I'm enjoying, and that's annoying. So I wanted to buy something else, or I needed something else. And then I also wanted to try, because these are so tiny and I go through a lot of paint, I wanted to try the ultramarine dark from Lucas. Lucas is a very, very affordable brand here in Austria. It's German, and they have very affordable acrylics with a wonderful range of colors, as well as watercolors. The range is okay, but yeah, so this one is liquid, and the price for what you get is great. Liquid paint tends to be a bit more expensive than heavy body, and I guess you need more pigment, or it has to be like more finely milled. I'm not sure, but this costs a price that would work for me. And it does say that this is transparent. We'll see how transparent it is, but it's quite liquid, which is what I want these days for like the larger paintings. So I'm going to try that too. I didn't want to walk away without a good option that I was certain that could work for me now, but I took this one to try. And then they had another color that was calling to me. This is called Vermilion Light, and it's just, I feel like this with white, I mean, I like it as it is, but I feel like this with white or mixed with pinks, this would make like beautiful corals. So this is another one. This is Lucas Liquid, and I think this is a relatively new product from Lucas, I want to say. And I hope that I can find a few basic colors that would work for me. They didn't have the white. I definitely want to try the white because it's a lot more affordable than this. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated. I have tried one of this liquid ones, the mauve color, and the formulation is good. I mean, it's like liquid like I like, but I'm not loving the color. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but you know, maybe I'll change my mind because I tend to do that. So that was kind of, these two were the only things that I really needed. And now I'll show you what else I picked up. So staying with the inks, I got these two just because I thought they were really pretty. So this one is again from Schminke for their airbrush. This is like part of their airbrush line, but this one is called Total Cover. They have a regular range, and then there are a few colors that are marked in this Total Cover, which I think is really, really interesting. And I want to experiment with these and see how they work, as obviously they're supposed to be more opaque. So that's interesting to me. The color is cadmium red hue, and the pigment, if you're interested, is PR254. And yeah, I'll show you the colors in a bit. And then this one is another one of like these. This is the Amsterdam ink, another brand that is very, very widely available here in Austria. I think this is Royal Talens. Yeah, Denmark. Is this Royal Talens? No, Royal Talens is Dutch. Okay. Oh, it is Royal Talens. Okay. Interesting. Well, these are made in Denmark, but they are made by Royal Talens, which are, you know, the name is Amsterdam. So, yeah, and this color I thought was really pretty, and it is called Light, Quinacridone Rose Light. I have a bunch of pinks that I'm happy with and I've been playing around a lot, but I thought this was pretty as is. And then let's move to liquid watercolor. So I picked up, this is a color, it doesn't look on screen the way it does in reality. It looks bluer on screen. It's a little bit more teal, as the name suggests. This is teal from Golden. This is their liquid acrylic. And it's just a really, 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 really popular color. And while the pigments here are nothing extraordinary, it's white, PG7, which is phthalo green, and PB15 3. I don't know how these two dots are called in English, sorry, but which is phthalo blue. So super, super inexpensive and common pigments to make all kinds of turquoises with some white thrown in there. But I wanted to see if it was as glorious as is, because I don't judge. I know that if you find that perfect color, it's hard to compete with. And I do have, I want to compare it to this one that I have, which has the same pigments, I want to say. Yeah, the same pigments. I want to compare that because this one is a fraction of the price and you can buy like huge tubes. So yeah, let's see. This is of course liquid, which is a great consistency. It's not as watery as ink, but it is very easy to kind of water it down. And yeah, this is like the only size that you can find in my local shop, because these are from the US and they are insanely expensive here in Austria. But I've been hearing about this color and seeing like a lot of mixed media artists that I love use it for I don't know how many years. So I bought myself a little bottle. And okay. And then I wanted to try from Amsterdam. As I said, it's a very, very popular and affordable brand here. I wanted to try these two colors. They offer these tiny little tubes. So before I commit to a larger tube, I wanted to try them. This is Venetian Rose. This is Light Rose. And then the last one I picked up from Lucas is called Apricot. It's a bit more orangey than it looks on screen. And this is made with PW6, PY74, and PR112. And I just thought it was a pretty color. And then these were on sale. And they are called Abstract Liner, 3D liners from Sennelier. And I have a couple of these. And they do what they're supposed to do, but I have a different plan for these than to use them as liners, and all will be revealed. I don't know if I'll succeed in my plan, but I'm going to try. Oh, I have another color that I think might compete with the teal, although it's looking a bit more green, which is the Bright Aqua Green from Liquitex. and this one, yeah, has exactly the same pigments. So we're going to compare them. The advantage of this one for me is the fact that it's more liquid, because I enjoy that more than heavy body paint, but I don't enjoy the price tag. And that is it. So now I'm going to swatch everything and I'm going to show you how it looks. Okay, here are the paints all swatched, and the liners are really nice and kind of intense. That's the yellow, and here the magenta and the ultramarine, like these guys. But, you know, they're supposed to be used as this liner, and that's sort of how I plan to use them. So it's less relevant to me how they look all smooshed. As for the apricot from Lucas, it's a little bit anemic, but I think it would be fun to mix it with some pinks because it has white in it, and so I think I can get really nice corally colors if I mix it with, like, you know, quinacridone magenta or something, or a fluorescent pink. So I think that'll be fun. This one I really like as it is. It's kind of like a pinkish corally color. It's the Amsterdam Venetian Rose. I think to me it's one of these kind of convenience colors. I could try and mix this from some yellow, orange, and pink, but it is a color that I like to use, so it's nice to have that. And the same goes for this Amsterdam Light Rose. It's very, very light, so I guess I could probably mix it with some yellows and maybe get some nice muted peachy colors. But I also kind of like it straight from the tube, or maybe I could tint it a little bit with some, you know, magenta ink or something to pump it up a little bit more. But it is, I think for me, it will be a nice convenience color to play around with. These ones here, so this is the Schmincke Aerocolor Total Cover, and it is really intense. It's very opaque, but it's just interesting to see it because it's still ink, so it's still really, you know, kind of watery and flat. You don't actually see that there's paint, unlike this, which is more of like a heavy body paint. So I don't know, maybe we'll zoom in. I don't know if you can actually really see that, but it's super intense, and I have to look at the other colors that they have in the range because I think that would be fun for me to play with. And here I have this kind of watered down, this ink, so you see you get a lot from it, and when you water it down, it's this really nice soft pink. And so I think it will be fun to use it kind of in the way that I've been using liquid paint and inks. And, you know, I'll hopefully show you more of that. And then we have the Amsterdam ink. That's probably the most underwhelming one. This one is the Quinacridone Rose Light. It's it's not great. I don't know, we'll see. I'll probably use it kind of in combination with other pinks to get a little bit more of an interesting pink, but as it is now, I'm not like falling over it from excitement. And here we have the ultramarine, quite classic ultramarine. And I want you to see, so this is the ink from Amsterdam. And I think it's okay, but I think I might still try the Schminke one at some point because I suspect it might be just more intense, which I prefer to have. Now, I also tried this one, the Lucas Liquid, and it's not as fluid as these very, very kind of fluid inks, but it's pretty close, and the price point is great for all this color that you get. So if possible, I am going to try and find colors that work for me from this range because it's just so much more economical than a bottle of ink. Roughly the price, and it depends on the series, of such container compared to such a bottle from this or Schminke, this one costs double than this. And you get, I don't know, 8 times, 9 times more paint. So it's definitely an economical choice. However, I do love using inks. I've been also going back to my Liquitex inks, which I've had for years, and I haven't been using them. I know they have like the muted range that I resisted at the time when it came out, and we'll see how I feel about it. But yeah, so this one is really, really nice. It's quite like a reddish ultramarine, which I really love. And then we have that famous teal from Golden, and I compared it here to 2 other versions that I don't have in liquid form, but rather as heavy body paint. So this one is the Liquitex heavy body bright aqua green, and this one is the Amsterdam turquoise green. And first of all, I think maybe I probably had a bit more water here, but it's, let's see, yeah, it's not so much lighter than this one, or this one just dried a bit more dark. You can see these two are very, very similar in color. This one is just a little bit lighter here, and this one is slightly bluer or less green than these. However, I definitely prefer the liquid formulation of this. So again, the color, don't trust my screen on it, although I will try to maybe tweak the color balance, but it is a little bit more greenish than it reads on camera. So it reads quite blue to me, but it's not. It's really a nice teal. And yeah, I think I'll just have to use it. And for me, you know, if I see that I use it, if I'm enjoying it, then I would consider splurging on it. But I would definitely prefer finding a cheaper alternative, something just, you know, European based, because they are so much more affordable. So that's that. And then the last one is again from this series, the Lucas Liquid, and this is the Vermilion Light. And it is quite a striking color, and as I suspected, it looks fantastic with white. So this is just with a little bit white, and it really creates this beautiful salmon color, I would say. So really, really happy with that. I always have kind of a hole in my rainbow of colors. There's always, where the reds and the oranges are, there's always something missing, and I usually just mix my own shades. But I think this one could fill that void nicely, and it's a good option for me. So I'm really happy about that. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon in another one. Take care. Bye bye.